What is up, killers? Kev here, and today back with a brand new episode of Skyrim Special Edition. Today I am going to be showing you my load order, everything that you see within the videos for 2019. This is pretty much going to be a foundation for all of the videos, but without further ado guys, let's just jump straight into the video. So right at the very top you should see two mods I think everyone should have within the load order, regardless if you're making videos or if you're just playing and enjoying the game. The first one is going to be the RaceCompatibility mod for Skyrim Special Edition. This is absolutely awesome. This obviously allows you to have all of the modded and custom races off the Bethesda.net website mods to enter your game and just have no issues whatsoever. Personally, I don't know why this is above the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. I'm not too sure why it is there. Usually when you do try to place things above that particular patch, it sort of throws it just below. This one is obviously taking priority. I have not changed this for many moons. This is pretty much how it's going to be standard going throughout the video. And obviously right underneath that is going to be the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. Everyone should be having this regardless if you're modding your game or you're just doing a lovely playthrough. This one actually sorts out hundreds of gameplay mistakes, quest, NPC objects and items throughout the world that are going to be bugged. Now obviously you all should know by now that most Bethesda games are going to be incredibly buggy going forth playing them, modded or not, so everyone should be grabbing this one, that is for sure. And this is going to be in everyone's load order. You're probably thinking as well that that is an extremely high download size, nearly 500 megabytes of a download. Do not worry, it is essential for your game, so that is second in my list. Third in my list is going to be BIG Ultimate Kills. This one has 5 mods squished into one. Again, the download size is really small, and there's loads of these big sort of kill moves, high kill move chances, and other different things that are scattered around. This one is basically a compilation of all of those squished into one. This one gives you loads of kill moves, loads of kill chances, opportunities for them, easier decapitation, more decapitations, and helmetless combat perk, which obviously within this game you do need a full set of armor to get the perks of that. But that is obviously all changed within this mod. Kill chances increased from 50% to 75%. So if you like those cinematics going into combat, this is a great one, and that's third within my list. Shortly followed by that is going to be the blocking animation. I really do like this one. I've had this one for quite a while now. It is going to be by the Evil, I think it's Evil Butt Panda. I think this one came out absolutely ages ago. This is actually my 2018 animation sort of video that we did, and 2019 animation video is coming very shortly. That has been dramatically changed from 18, so keep a finger on the channel on that one. But yeah, all of the melee weapons, great swords, battle axes, war hammers, one-handers, they all work with this particular mod, work both in first and third person view too. This is awesome, just like changing up every now and then, switching between different animation mods, and this blocking one is really cool indeed. Improved dual wield, once again done by the same author. No sort of picture on this particular one, but you will be able to find it if you just search the names if you're interested. For this one, it changes the idle and turning, also changes the running, the normal attack, and the power attacks too. Probably not that noticeable within this particular clip. There is going to be noticeable once you get into game though. I'm not too sure if they're clashing with other different mods for these particular ones, but I'm just going to run down on whatever. Usually a lot of people when they do load order videos, they just keep it on sort of the screen to do with the load order itself on the Bethesda.net website, which I did that last year, or people will just show you sort of random clips going through the Skyrim. I'm actually just trying to show you every single mod in detail essentially on this particular clip, so if you can't see it, grab it and try it out. Again, another must mod within anyone's load order if you are bringing in assets from custom followers from the Bethesda.net website. This one is going to be the relationship and dialogue overhaul. I suggest everyone grabs this. I think it's a really cool mod. I've had this for some time now, and obviously covering different mods on the website and people coming and bringing in their new dialogue options and everything else. This kind of sort of unpacks it all and makes it flow really nicely indeed. Recommend this one to absolutely everyone. Again, that's another essential mod. Talking about essential mods, swiftly moving on is going to be the XP32 skeleton and realistic ragdoll effects. I've had this for absolutely ages. This is a standalone version. Again, this is a must for anyone to have within the game, not just for the ragdoll effect. This is going to be the XP32 skeleton one. I suggest this for everyone just because, again, so many different animation mods do require this particular mod to be added within the base game, and it works really well with other mods. Again, it's just unpacking certain other different people's assets or something like that. You don't have to have this particular mod, but I would highly suggest it if you are going sort of on that modding scene or possibly even making video. Coming in the next spot, again, I'm not too sure where all of these should be. I've placed the high priority ones up the top so they do work, but you can pretty much place them whether. This is going to be my load order video. This one is going to be visible map markers. For this one, it's going to make sure that 99% of all of map markers are visible on the map, so you can't fast travel to them. It's just showing you that they are on the map. So if you're, for instance, looking for a particular cave or a particular settlement, you can see it, but you can't fast travel to it, which comes to our next one, which is going to be shortly followed in the video about how you can fast travel to that as well. I've got a mod for that one, do not worry. Right underneath that one is going to be Far Better Sun. A lot of people do and don't like this particular mod. A lot of people say that the god rays in quotations are far too strong. I personally think they're very realistic for this particular mod. If you look at the sun, you're going to be blinded by the sun. It's like when you go outside, the sun is incredibly powerful on your eyes. Just don't look at the sun, which I've done in these clips just to make an emphasis on that it is going to be somewhat of a realistic feel to the sun. Bigger trees are going to be self-explanatory going into this particular sort of clip. They are far larger trees, so for instance forest areas or even just in sort of settlements or even cities, they are going to be far larger than you would see within the base game. If you look at the trees within the base game, they're incredibly small, a little bit lackluster if I'm perfectly honest, a little bit boring, a little bit dead. For me, I want to see a massive trees. I want to see some towering trees. The scaling should be off the chart. Remember, this game is pretty old and the world of Tamriel is old as well, and obviously some of those trees have been around for thousands of years. Let's bring in a little bit of immersion to the game. We're not having baby trees or bushes. It's absolutely stupid. So this mod is really cool and interesting for me. Another mod that I do really enjoy, I'm not too sure if this is clashing once again with other different things, I don't think it is personally, but I really do love this one. It's a collection of Cities of Skyrim retextures Overhaul. This has loads of other different settlements such as Markarth, Rift and Solitude, and your boy's favourite, Whiterun. A lot of people do say that they love the look of my Whiterun going through my particular videos. Obviously don't do playthroughs, but visually looking at my game, a lot of people really do like the textures that are on my Whiterun. Again, they follow for other different cities as well, so please do feel free to grab this one, not just for Whiterun. Maybe your favourite city is Solitude. This one is a great grab to get as well. Completely changes pretty much 99% of all of the textures going along to the buildings. The next one is going to be particle fields. Now, I used to use this absolutely every single time I made a video. I've kept it, enjoyed it, and absolutely loved it. I do use it off camera as well, but for this one, it gives you a particle effect that you can equip. Some ones like feathers, bubbles, dandelion seeds. You can get leaves that come in different colours, fogs that all do come in different colours. Maybe you want a white fog surrounding your character to give it that light effect, or a darker feel, sort of to give that black fog creeping around your feet. That will go pretty much everywhere you go as well. As I say, it is an equipable for you. Burning ashes, which I really do like. I used to use these absolutely all the time for thumbnails within my videos. So if you want to make some really sort of cool screenshots that have the sort of own identity to that equipable to your particular character, to give it a little bit more of a depth feel to that sort of screenshot, 100% grab this one. They are absolutely brilliant. To get those particular orbs, you need to buy them from Ferenga, and once upon there, they will stay in your inventory forever. Next spot for weather is going to be Dolomite, weather and lighting. I personally have had this for ages. Loads of people have had this one, and I think there's another one out there. I think it's called Mythical Ages weather. Not too sure what the difference is, but between that, I adore Dolomite's weather. I think it's really cool. I think the clouds are very realistic. I think with, as I say, Far Better Sun and the sunsets to do with the clouds and the colour contrast are really, really nice too. The lighting is finesse. This one's been around for pretty much donkeys. As I say, this mod playlist is going to be my bread and butter. Not going to be changing anything anytime soon unless something really dramatic comes out. But I say this is a base for me and for all of my videos that you do see, and this is how I get the effect on it. Now, talking about must mods, for me a must doing videos and showing off armors, possibly weapons, views, terrains and other different things, I use the free camera mod. And what this essentially does is it allows you to have a equipable power or a spell, possibly even a shout. Click the right bumper and it will take up a menu. Now you can either zoom in and out the camera, you can have free cam, you can have an idle cam, you can move the cam up and down. Loads of different things with this particular mod that is absolutely insane. I remember covering this on one of the 5 new console mods, it's a mini series that I do on my channel, and it was absolutely breathtaking. Could not get enough of it. Loads of people asked for it every single day on the comment section below. I absolutely adore this mod. It is perfect for anyone doing screenshots. Once again, you maybe could clash it with the particle fields, or even if you're just doing what I do, making videos or something like that. You can tell I use this in pretty much every one of my videos. Absolutely adore this mod. It is a killer and a must for any video maker or anyone that's taking screenshots. Dawnguard map markers, this is going to be exactly the same as we talked about last time. This is going to be the Dawnguard version. It will visually display everything that is located within the Dawnguard DLC maps. So for instance, you can see everything, but you cannot fast travel to them. Pretty much just says what's on the map. This is kind of somewhat part of a cheat. Maybe you don't like discovering, maybe you just want to find certain things quickly. Whip up your map, place the map marker and go there. But I do have another mod that does unlock everything within the DLC and the vanilla base game, which does come together really nicely with this one and the other one, which is going to be this mod here. This is the map markers unlocked. Now, I'm not too sure again where the load order should be on these particular ones. They all work for me, absolutely every single one. As I said, 99% of them, maybe 1 or 2 that don't, that are possibly tied with quests or other different things like that. Maybe have to unlock them first. And this one unlocks all of the map markers. Good for those who hate walking around or even looking for those really obvious locations. This is going to be it. An absolute cool mod. I really do love this one. It just helps me doing videos as well, jumping from place to place. Go away clouds. For this one, it does say must be placed last within your load order. This is nowhere near the bottom spot within my load order, and it works absolutely fine too. It's an incredibly small file, but what this one basically does is it takes away that really annoying sort of cloud feature that is on the map that gets absolutely everywhere. I understand that it's very realistic, it's very cool, but after a while when you're looking for maybe a map marker that is hidden in sort of several other different ones that are really tidy and close, the clouds on the map just get really annoying. So this one is great for taking that one out. Talking about maps, there's loads of other different versions of this one. This one is going to be a quality world map. This is going to be the vivid one. There's loads of other different ones you can choose, but once again, I'll probably link that within the description if it will allow me to do that, because obviously I think I'm raining over 90 mods within this load order. But this is a quality map for this one. This comes with the vivid. I think that this one actually does come with the stone roads. Again, a much beautiful map than the vanilla. Loads of detailing on this particular one. It's almost like looking down at a 3D print or 3D world. They did that Minecraft world which you could look at through the goggles, which is all built out in front of you. This is kind of like that but with a map. Enhanced blood textures. Everyone should be grabbing this particular mod. I love this mod. It's basically a blood overhaul. It enhances the experience with high resolution and detailed textures to do with blood. This is an essential for people who are enjoying the sort of kill mood or even the animation spam of the blood flow dripping out of everything. This is really insane. Loads of features on this one. There's new features and plugins with scripts. Obviously increases the amount of blood during combat within kill moves, which is great. Everyone needs to see that, unless obviously you've turned the gore feature off. Bleeding out NPCs is productive now. It's kind of gives it a more of a realistic feel to the game itself. Again, love this particular mod. It has so many different features, and it's just coming in less than 20 megabytes of a download. Straight after that is going to be dense grass. This mod has a ton of grass foliage within Skyrim. It just boosts it absolutely insane. For instance, there's a lot of patches within Skyrim that don't have a lot of grass generally. Obviously, we need to have a few patches that don't have grass. I don't want everything covered in grass. I've never had any FPS drops within my particular game. I know I'm running an X and a PS4 Pro, but to keep that aside, this particular load order isn't really hammering or chugging the graphics that much. But yeah, this is sort of an overhaul to do with the graphics. There's a lot more grass too. Again, beautiful with other different mods such as the Lush Overhaul and Realistic Water 2. Maybe some Dolomites Weather. It all comes together so beautifully, and we're going to be covering a lot more to do with graphics. I might even do a separate graphics video. I'm not sure. Let me know your thoughts on that. But straight after that is going to be Realistic Water 2. Now, everyone should be having this on their load order. I don't care who you are, but this one changes everything to do with water. Lakes, ponds, meshed water. So for instance, along the banks, ocean water no longer flowing in a particular direction. Lakes, rivers, absolutely beautiful. Even some of the sound effects too are changed with this one. Ponds are going to be silent to give you that more of a feel. It is absolutely insane. Waterfalls and streams, rivers have never been the same. Honestly, I remember seeing this one on the Nexus when it came out, absolutely donkeys ago. This mod is super old, but I remember coming out and I just fell in love with it instantly. Could not believe it. It is very true to the title. It is extremely realistic. Lush Overhaul is another mod that I think everyone should grab if you are looking at sort of colourful foliage around your world. 110%. This mod edits the meshes of the trees, the plants, and all of the other different things that are in the maker within Lush. So flowers, they are going to be changed. I think lily pads are even included within this particular mod. I adore this mod. You'll definitely notice a difference if you do not have a Lush Overhaul, aka this particular mod. This one adds so much florage to the game. It is perfect. Tree LOD 23. I've had this mod for quite some time now. It increases the shadowing and the convenient way that trees are placed within the LOD. If you are sort of one of those people that do like to see quite far in the distance, this is kind of a mod to grab. Personally, you don't know it too much, but it just sort of sits within the back. Again, this is only 4 megabytes, but the terrain is more detailed going throughout the world. Populated forts and towers. This one is really cool if you're making sort of videos to do with armor or weapons. I usually use this one when I'm showcasing an armor or weapon, or even a follower. It just increases the amount of bandits or other different things such as skeletons within the forts. It basically increases them maybe by a handful, 4 or 5 of them added extra. It's just a little something, more bandits, more immersion, more of a challenge as well, if you would want to say that, without using any scripts, which is really cool indeed. Bandits, Frostmourne, Felmoor, skeletons, Skyrim forts, towers, and some other original places. Discover map markers. All this is sort of an incredibly inclusive one that comes with all of the other ones. I basically just downloaded all of them because I was thinking maybe that they'd all work together. I'm not too sure why this is on here. I have tried taking 1 or 2 of them off to see if they would work or wouldn't work, and I don't know, they clash together very nicely. If you take one away, it doesn't work correctly, and vice versa. So I've kind of just left this in here. It will be possible to fast travel to 369 of the 436 of them, which basically includes everything that I said within the other ones. I just want to make sure that I can fast travel to absolutely everywhere that the game can possibly allow me before doing quests, and this is a great one. Again, another one which I downloaded absolutely ages ago, which I think everyone should grab, just because I personally get annoyed with viewing people's videos with it now, let alone viewing my old content. For this one, it is the no screen blood. Usually when you attack someone or they attack you, the blood comes up on the screen. It's extremely annoying, especially when there's a few of them as well that are taking you on, and all of a sudden that your screen is completely covered in red splotches and splats. It is incredibly frustrating, especially as well with that sort of a motion blur as well. Once upon getting hit, that is taken out as well. Blood on the screen has been taken off too. Obviously with those other different blood mods, loads of blood everywhere that looks really cool, but just not on the screen, which is incredibly frustrating. The Zweihander animation for male version. We do have the female version on this particular one. I love this one because it is a smaller download size than the a Blade Dancer animation pack, which come with a lot of other different sort of fruity spells to do the magic and everything else, which I didn't really particularly like. Even changes the run animation and crawl animation, again, didn't like. But what I like about this particular one with the version of 2B from the YY is going to be the two-handed melee animation for this particular one. Again, really cool. Sprint animation is included. It is void on this particular one because it is clashing with one of the first bots we did talk about, which is Evil Bot Panda. The only reason why I wanted this particular mod within the loader, which a load of you have been asking it as well, this one simply places the two-hander rested on the shoulder and drapes over to the back as well. Instead of holding it goofy, it just basically holds the two-hander on your shoulder, which I really do love. It's absolutely great. Another one to be flying in, which I think everyone should at least grab one of these things that do change the corresponding thing. This one is going to be Odin's Perks of Skyrim. This adds a bunch of other different things. The sort of overhaul to do with perks. I do believe this one adds over 400 brand new perks to improve the depth of the fun of character building. It is incredibly lightweight, compact, and to do with other different many mods, it is a clean script, so you can pretty much use it with loads of other different things. This is the only one I do have that changed perks within my base game. I don't really go after sort of mad character building, especially with my sort of particular background. You know, I'm modding a character to play or show off a particular mod. I'm not playing through the game itself, but I do like to have this one just in case I need sort of additional things to maybe show off a particular set of armor or possibly craft something within the forge. KS Hair DOS Light, this one is going to be the light version of all of them. It comes with a bunch of other different things as well. It's all sort of crammed and included with so many different things, that is for sure. I do believe this one is coming with 20, I think it's 20 male and 20 female hairstyles. Loads of different hairstyles have been added to this game due to this particular mod. The vanilla ones are absolutely disgusting. If you have not tried a hair mod, try one of these or try many other different ones. There's loads of different versions of the KS hairs. You can get either a smaller pack, a larger pack, and get one with loads of other different colours and so on and so forth. But for me, will not go to any other probably hair mod, and definitely will not be going back to the vanilla hairs. Next one is going to be Adorable Females. This mod takes all of the favourite beauty mod and combines them together. Instead of the vanilla faces for all of the races, but Khajiits obviously and Argonians, it sort of makes the lips look more fuller and more colourful, also less dry looking, also adds a 1K teeth and mouth texture with also 8 new eyebrows, and just generally makes the face pop instead of looking like a flat pixel. Most of these mods that I do have, including somewhat like this one, make the game somewhat a little bit more realistic, is definitely for sure. Loads of other different things included with this one. Face textures are going to be the main one to do with this one, and that is the female version. Next one in this video is going to be the Beastie Greatsword animation. This one is, as I say, clashing possibly with the YY animation one. For this one though, it is absolutely insane. This will change the Greatsword third person animation for power attacks, idle and turning, running, sprinting, walking, and blocking too. This one is for PC as well, but for this one we are looking at it on the Xbox One. Bethesda's beards, I remember one of my subscribers mentioned this to me within the comment section below. I was running some really rubbish setup to do with the beards on the vanilla game. They weren't really great. You know, I had the hair down, which is the KS hair, which looked absolutely finesse, but the beards looked absolutely disgusting, not cool at all. And obviously, why not grab a killer beard mod, and this is definitely it. This one is not going to be for Beast Race, unfortunately. There are loads of other different ones that you can choose for them, but primarily my character is going to be a Nord. More dragons, I'm not too sure about this particular mod. I have no idea why I've got it. It is only probably 200B of a download, but for me, this randomized the dragons that will spawn faster than the normal rate. They will spawn every half an hour in a pose of every 3 days. Now personally, if you look at my videos, you will hardly ever see a dragon going through the world. No idea why. This particular mod is kind of currently void. I'm not sure what's clashing with it. I haven't seen any dragons for a very long time. There is only one place I can go that I can actually view or see a dragon. Amazing follower tweaks. Once again, this is an essential mod for anyone to grab who is downloading any of the sort of follower mods on the Bethesda website. This one modifies the sort of dialogue to do with the followers. Also, it is great for anyone who is having multiple followers, managing outfits, possibly spells, a combat style, home assessment, which obviously is due to level up. You can obviously make vampires or beast or werewolves followers. This one has a ton of different options. It is a very large mod for what is included within this particular file. But when you load into the game, you have 2 spells that will appear within your magic section. You can access the features through them. There's loads of other different menus that you can choose, and there's a ton of settings for this particular one. I haven't gone in depth. I don't really have too many followers. I have 1 follower each video, or a couple followers each video, and that will be a showcase just on that follower. I won't be having multiple followers. As I say, I won't be doing a playthrough on the channel. More colourful critters. I've had this one again for a very long time. I love this mod. I think it's really nice. I think it's so beautiful. It adds again to that sort of simplistic overhaul graphic effect. This one adds over 1,000 hand-placed plants in many different workspaces to do with Skyrim. There's over 150 different kinds of bugs and fish to be added within the game. Pretty much get everything within this one. If you haven't tried this one, I would recommend trying this one. I've had it for ages and I absolutely adore it. Now, talking about places that I can only see dragons, this is the mod where I can only see dragons. I go to the Forgotten Vale to look at dragons. That is the only way that I can, essentially, through my particular game on this load, look at dragons. It adds 5 dragons in total to the forest region that you guys can look at. They are all flying around together, as you can see on screen. Salal Hell, this one is really cool. I'm not too sure if this one is clashing with the KS hairs, I'm not too sure, but this one adds over 30 hairs for women, which is really nice indeed. So if you're looking for sort of a particular hairstyle to do with the build, this is what I go for, you know, switching about between those particular ones. And only 4 for men, where obviously the KS is the 20-20 split for male and female. This one is going to be primarily for females, but again, this one is coming in at a lesser download size, which is what I was on about. And it does say within the description this is going to be a very light size for what it is. I love this one. I had it for absolutely ages. Again, most of these mods are going to be a foundation for everything that you've seen this year, if not even further back. TLS Lighting Overhaul. Again, another beautiful mod. Changes almost the lights to a beautiful radiant white instead of a manky yellow tinge if you are possibly sitting around candlelight. That does make sense. It's not that realistic to the game to pick up on different things, but by going through dungeons or even settlements, it will pick that up as a white. Another TLS greenified 1K straight underneath another TLS mod. I love TLS mods. He's been around an absolutely staggering amount of time. Probably tried out all of his mods on my own other different series on the channel. It's basically a filler for the places that are really boring within the game. I absolutely love this one. I think it's really nice indeed. Again, it ties in with all my other different graphic overhaul mods, my grasses and everything else. Sort of a brown sludge running through your game, you know, with obviously your grass mods and everything else, which look really cool indeed. This one adds sort of a little bit more immersion, that there is grass practically everywhere, but obviously not as built up areas as in other ones. Better blood splatters. Again, having this one for an extremely long time. Absolutely adoring this. Well, this one is a 2K retexture of the blood splatters in high resolution and more natural looking. They will randomize. There's a ton of these within the game. Some of them are using the vanilla ones and some of them aren't. Some of them spun around, some of them are in different areas, some of them are clipping, which I do realize in some of the clips within this one, but most of the time they work absolutely finesse, and again, have been rocking this one for an extremely long time. Another mod which we stumbled across upon doing the 5 new console mods for essentially this year, I think this one came out this year, is Supersize Mad Dragon, which basically makes the dragons within the base game a little bit more realistic and a little bit more true to the game. The beginning dragon, you think, whoa, that's a really big dragon, that's really massive. And then upon coming out, it's like, oh, we're playing against baby dragons, which nobody wants. For this particular mod, it adds the dragons that makes them twice as big as they are within your base game. They're absolutely huge dragons within this game, within this mod. They are extremely terrifying. If you haven't got it already and you are doing sort of mid playthrough and you think, hey, these dragons are a bit meh, grab this mod. it will completely change everything. And again, it is only coming at close to 30 kilobytes of a download. Obsidian Mountain Fog is another must mod to grab for those people who do want the immersive and realistic feel. For this one, it adds the fog around the top and tips of the mountains or even high points within the game. It's a simple plugin that just adds it straight in. It's kind of giving that mystical feel to the Skyrim wilderness. Climbing to the clouds essentially doesn't work once you're above them, looking down at them. I don't think it works too much on that side. I think it's when you're below. As you can tell, they're bellowing and blitzing straight across those mountain peaks, which look absolutely gorgeous. Modify city inns. Now, we do have another mod slightly similar to this particular mod, but for this particular one, it does change the main ones within the base game. This is going to be your main settlements, so the Banner Mare, the Drunken Huntsman, the Silverblood Inn, Bean Barn, loads of the main cities, so Whiterun, Solitude, Markarth and Riften, all of those particular ones and more. Obviously they're going to be added loads of exterior, interior, be heavily immersive, and basically a revamp of those boring and lackluster inns within the vanilla base game. We've got another one of those, so stick around for those, which I do believe does the smaller ones within the base game. Followed after that is going to be the ultimate dodge roll. This one is going to be the XP32. For this particular one, all you need to do is pretty much use the sneak or dodge key in a direction. You can either strafe, you can sort of do a little roll. I remember seeing this one, I do believe, on a video absolutely ages ago, and they showcased a similar mod, if not this mod, in that video, and I was absolutely blown away and had to grab it because I thought it was absolutely insane and sick, especially when you're showing off an armor. It just makes it look so much more cooler. But again, this one is out there with not the XP32 skeleton mod if you do want to grab that one too. Haste is another particular mod which we did cover on one of the 5 brand new console mods. This one is a collection, I do believe, of 5 mods crammed into one, hence the points between the lettering of this particular title, if not the title of the mod. This one changes the NPC's detection of crime, reducing it from 4,000 to 1,000. Removes Skyrim's sidestep, which is just plain dumb. Obviously in combat it's that sidestep. Ability to dodge arrows. Removes the silly spin dance when players and NPCs is killed. Loads of different things within this one. It changes the smithing and tanning leveling too, which you can now combine both of them. So for instance, when you're only smithing, you'd get XP. Using the tanning rack, you wouldn't get any. Grazed dense forest. It makes sure that all of the surrounding areas to do with the forest have been essentially filled. Within the vanilla based game, going through a forest, it's kind of like walking through like not even a woods. I mean, a wood's got more populated trees, but imagine only a few different trees. Like, go and walk down the park, for instance, and they're declaring that as a forest. No way is that a forest. I want something that's built up with loads of trees. There's so many trees randomly placed within this one, and it goes great with all my other different tree mods. The Sky HUD Distant preset. This one I saw on a video again quite a while ago, and I just thought the vanilla HUD was a little bit boring and I wanted to spice things up. Now the Sky HUD, there's a few of them on the Bethesda.net website if you want to check that one. For this one, it's kind of like the Oblivion style HUD. The dot crosshair has been changed, the compass has been slimmer down, the alternate ammo, again, they're all in different areas. The left adjusting health and stamina with the magicka bars down the bottom, which look beautiful. Everything has changed basically. A whole HUD has been completely revamped. This is the one I am using. The next spot is going to be Gray's Oblivion inspired wait screen. This one is going to be sort of waiting for times. It's going to be a custom made loading screen one. So for instance, the screen where you pop up the time and everything else, it is going to be changing that to a old school Oblivion feel. Don't know if you remember that one from the game, but was hella cool. Really did enjoy it. Again, this one is an Xbox One exclusive. VAE, Visual Animated Enchantments. This one was beautiful. This was actually on last, I think it's been 2 years running. This has been on my animations list. It hasn't been updated for a while, and I don't think it ever will be, just because, again, I don't think it needs to be. It has different effects of the enchantments that you have on your blade. It gives it a small animation, which is really cool. Draw your sword. It presents itself with an absolute beastie animation, which looks finesse. And then upon that, it will then stay there on a lesser scale, but you'll still see it. Detailed terrain and tree LOD, once again, for seeing very far away. like what a PC would have, just because it has that sort of compatibility to do that one. I'm trying to sort of reassemble that within the Xbox. This one you can see very far away, all that detailing and so on and so forth. This works best probably when you're higher up, as you can tell on the screen now. It's obviously not going to be like for like what you would see 10 meters in front of you all the way in the distance. Let's have a little bit more of a realistic look at this, guys. Another mod that everyone absolutely adores on the channel, that wants to pretty much know on a daily basis. This one is the WOB skeleton standalone with the animation too. This one allows my sword, one-handed sword, to be placed on my back. Last update of this one was back in December 2018, I do believe, but it fixes the first person animation, also fixes the horse riding animation combat. But for this one, it allows simply a sword to be laid on the back. Realistic pine trees, does what it says on the tin, but this one is, improves the pine meshes and adds real 3D branches to the game up close, and as well they do look absolutely gorgeous from afar. The height and the stature is definitely going to be there with these particular trees. JK's Skyrim all in one, again done by JK, but this particular one is a lore friendly script free overhaul to cities and towns of Skyrim. Vanilla themed, greatly adds a bunch of immersive and important things to the game, I feel like. So for instance, Riverwood adds a ton of different things to the lumber mill, also a ton of different things scattered around Riverwood. Rorikstead is going to be farming, Falkreath is going to be the graveyard, Dawnstar for the port. I do believe this has a whole entire new ship with a bunch of other different sort of things darted around the city, which is really nice indeed. HD photographic ivy enhanced textured detail version. There are two different versions of this one. I thought I'd snag this one, it's only 5 megabytes of a download, but as you can tell, the ivy within the game looks pretty realistic. I'm not being funny, this looks absolute gorgeous. Hopefully the mod author can make other different things to do with the photorealistic sort of HD vibe to do with things. For this download size, maybe a little bit more, I would be very happy for that, because this blew me away when covering it within one of the 5 brand new console mods. TLS Undullified, I've had this again for an extremely long time. What this mod does is it takes out the sort of dull, dreary look to the weather and some of the colours to do with your foliage going around the world. This just makes it pop a little bit more. If you can't see it in this video, or can't see it in comparison between your gameplay and mine, there is actually a couple of videos out there. If not, there is a couple of images on the Professor.net website to do with this mod if you find it. But again, less than 50 kilobytes of a download. Enhanced vanilla grass, again, this one is pretty much self-explanatory. Increases the grass density value into Skyrim using some of the creation kit from all grass types, including DLC, so do not worry about that. Increases the grass size, probably twice the amount that you would see in the vanilla game. Gives it that little bit more of a dense feel too. Unlocks hidden vanilla grass textures. Not too sure about what they were, but we're going to carry on anyway. And changes the grass density, setting it into files 60 instead of the default of 20. Shadows, everyone should be grabbing this one again for the immersion side of things, if not a realistic point of view. It works with so many different things within the game. No performance issues whatsoever with this particular one. I do believe it was a port from the nexusmods.com. Not too sure, but this one is just really cool. I remember this one coming out. 4K stars and galaxies. This is the night cycles that it does change within the game. It's going to be 4 different versions with 2K stars scattered around, and put this under your weather mod. So obviously this is right below my Dolomites weather. Has worked ever since. Again, I covered this in one of the top 5 and just fell in love with it. Review Studio. Now I've had this for some time, and for this particular one it comes with a bunch of different studios. Green rooms, blue rooms, dark room, which is going to be a box, a black box that you can see your character in, a white box, which again has a white crisp background. Brilliant for screenshots, brilliant for me who's making videos. Anyone who is showing off mods, I would grab this one. Maybe you could do a thumbnail in the blue or green room, take it out in the editing software, which is what I do. Or if you want to showcase a set of armor or a set of animation skills, maybe go in the dark room or the white room. And to locate these particular one, it is behind one of the houses within Whiterun. Just behind the Breeze home, there are some trapdoors, and you can pretty much go in and out. Leafeater's Whiterun tree overhaul. Again, this one is very simple. It just adds trees to Whiterun. Works with JK Skyrim too, which I'm really grateful of, just because JK Skyrim adds a few other different trinkety bits to Whiterun, which makes it look a little bit more full, a little bit more lively. And with the trees to do with this particular mod, it just encumbers that all together. Not attacked by animals. Pretty self-explanatory for this particular one. Wolves, saber cats, other different horrible creatures out there that you're roaming through Tamriel will not attack you. It's pretty self-explanatory for this particular one. Also as well, no one views you as a threat, so elk and deer do not fear you whatsoever. They could not care that you are there. Lush Trees, which works really well with a few other different mods, especially with those 3D branches. For this one, it just makes trees a lot more lusher. More branches, more textures. Vanilla trees are really bad within the game, especially as a special edition sort of overhaul and a remake version in quotations. But for this one, it just looks great. I think they look beautiful. I think they look very realistic from afar. Up close, obviously not, but from probably about 100 yards, they look really, really realistic, that is for sure. Very enhanced indeed. Cheat room, must for anyone who's doing videos or someone who is trying to find a certain thing within the game. This mod has been out probably since the Bethesda mods have been out. For this one, it is a single room. You can use a cheat spell in quotations to get you there, and a cheat spell to come back. Gives you loads of different options within that one. You can spawn axes which are temporary. You can level up your character. Basically like a version of the QVA or QOA or whatever it's called. Smoke room. This one's just a lot better. There's loads of other different buttons. You can add or remove the vampire or beast form. There are loads of options within this one. Hasn't been uploaded for a while, but has been heavily updated throughout since it's been there. I think we're on version 19 or 20 of this particular mod. Unique grasses. This is going to be scattered around the world. You're going to find these probably everywhere. They are just unique grasses to that particular biome. Work really well and fair with all my other different sort of landscape overhaul textures or mods, shall we say. Just really finesse. Incredibly low download size and just scattered around quite nicely too. Player blink fix. This is a simple plugin that re-enables the blinking for player characters' eyes. Obviously it's not going to be blinking like mad, but if you sort of look at the footage several times on this clip, you'll see my character actually blinking. Very, very small mod, but again something that's a little bit more immersive and again realistic to the game. You're not going to be seeing your character's eyes, but in the back of my head, why is my character's eyes just constantly open? That's scary for me. Small Inns Overhaul. This is the one I was saying. Obviously we looked at the other one, which is the main cities, the main settlements. Changes all the mods within this one. This one does all of the smaller ones. So for instance, you've got the Four Shields Taverns, the Wind Peaks Inn, Nightingale Inn, Frostfoot Inn, Sleeping Giant Inn, Riverwood. It's not a main settlement. You see what I mean? Smaller sort of towns and cities, which, no, one, smaller towns that we see. Cities are going to be the other one. So this one does sort of the smaller settlements to do with the inns. Again, adds a bunch of different stuff for this particular one. Adds loads of other different decor, inside, outside. It just works really well. Compatible with JK Skyrim. Dark Souls 3 styled main menu. You don't have to have a main menu replacer, but I've got that thrown in. I really do like it. I think it's really cool. Instead of the Dark Souls, it just says Elder Scrolls with that theme. Nothing too more to say about that, but I thought that was pretty cool. Castle's trap door for this one, it is going to be removing the bug. I actually did the quest for this particular one on this save. I just got this mod, which basically allows you to go in and out of the castle freely whenever via doing the quest or not. You don't need to be having that. TLS Water Change, again, this one makes it, as you can tell, a little bit more of a fantasy look. It's not a realistic look, but I just love this one. I think it's really cool. The color and how it moves is really unique to this particular mod. Really, really quite vibrant when you think about it. It's kind of blinding, but I really do like that. That's kind of my feel. You don't have to have this one, but this is what I got in my mod load order. Solitude Remake just enhances the overall look to Solitude itself, makes it sort of a vendor or a market city, which it does portray in the base game, but via this mod, looking at it now, it really doesn't. So this mod definitely enhances that sort of feel to do with Solitude. Imperial Agents 1992's enhanced console graphics. This is going to be version 1. I know there is version 3 out there, but for this one it does make the graphics look a lot more crispier. The environments are going to be a little bit more stable. Overall, it's going to be running my rig a lot more smoother in a sense. This is not compatible with any of the lighting mods that you do have within your game. It just crisps up the whole gameplay to look a little bit more fresh, a little bit more of a lively look. You can try other different versions. I might try other different versions, but this is the standard load order for 2019. I'm going to have a little play in 2020. Green Tundra, via looking in first person, you will be able to see the landscape of this one. Replaces the yellow yuckness that is filled with the landscape in the Whiterun hold to a beautiful green, gorgeous look. I love this one. I covered this yet again in another 5 brand new console mods, and I fell in love with it. It definitely did change my experience, and as you know, Whiterun is going to be my hold and changes so much to do with that. SMIM, Archery Target Standalone. This is a very small adjustment. You probably won't need to have this whatsoever, but it just changes the archery targets, but a little bit more of a realistic look to do with the textures and meshes. Not too much to say on this particular one. This is going to be the female version to do with the animations that I'm going to be running this year. Again, just places the two-handed on the shoulder. Not too much to say about that one. This is just for the female version. We've already got the male version. So yeah guys, that is it for my load order of 2019. Pretty much of a lengthy video, but you guys did want to see every single mod that I am running within my foundation for my videos for 2019, and this is pretty much it. If you did enjoy the video, I'd appreciate a like on the video. Let me know that you've made it this far. I have been hesitating to make this video, so yeah, a little bit of support would be very much appreciated. But guys, until next year for the same video, fingers crossed, Killerkev here, and Killerkev out.